So much for joining in today's session. As we all know that we have been receiving a lot of notices on the basis of GST 9 and 9.3. So we thought it fit that we will have none other than CA Aanchal Kapoor all the way from Amritsar. अमृतसर का वो लस्सी और वो पराठा तो नहीं मिला आंचल जी, but at least we'll get to know from your wisdom about the challenges faced in GST 9 and 9C. So now I request President DTPA, Sri Rajesh Agarwal ji, to welcome the speaker and share a few words about DTPA.
Thank you, Arudha. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to each one of you in the today's group discussion. Please join national anthem. तब शुभ नामे जागे, तब शुभ आशीष मांगे, सब जन दाता जगदम्ब मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे Today's session is on a very interesting subject of all about GST annual return, GST 9 and 9C. To deliberate upon this subject, C. Aanchal Kapoor from Amritsar will take the session virtually. Please join me in welcoming C. Aanchal Kapoor.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Aanchal ji. I hand over Arup Das Gupta ji, co-chairman of GST subcommittee, for onward proceedings. Thanking you. Happy learning.
Thank you, President sir. So now with this, we'll go to Secretary DTPA, C. Mahendra Gawal ji, who will be introducing our vibrant and learned speaker today.
Good evening, everyone. This is the second time we have got the opportunity to hear the learned speaker Aanchal Kapoor ji, and how much I remembering, we have had the session under the DTPA just before 2 years before in the virtual platform, and the topic was, I think, the same 9 and 9C. Yeah. And it was on the virtual mode, and it was a house full of more than 250 participants at that time. So we had the opportunity to hear you, Aanchal Madam, once again. And as far as the profile is concerned, it is a matter of custom only. You do not need any introduction, but as a matter of custom, I have to. Brief introduction for being the panelist on the Elite platform. C. Aanchal Kapoor is a fellow member of ICI since January 2009 and a law graduate. She pursued graduation in commerce BCom from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar, where she has been a gold medalist from her excellent academic performance. She attained 3rd rank all over India in CAP1 and 2nd rank in Northern India in CAP1, and also placed in merit list of university in graduation. As an additional qualification, she has also completed forensic audit and fraud detection course offered by ICI. Further, she has been a merit holder in Bachelor of Law, LLB, completed in 2021. Apart from having a splendid academic background, she has been in practice for over 10 years in the field of indirect taxes and is well acquainted in the field of GST, including department and appellate work. She is a national speaker on GST and has deliberated in around 500 plus seminars and webinars across India to member and industry, with the privilege of virtually addressing August gathering of 2,000 professionals. She is an approved faculty at National Academy of Custom, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics, GST offering training cell. She has also done several certified GST courses, including GST course offered by ICI. She has been a faculty to various certified courses on GST. She is an approved faculty of ICI. She has the privilege of contribution to various ICI publications from time to time. She is a member of AIFTP National Virtual Tech Web Committee 2021-22, active member of ITRAA, Joint Secretary All Over India Federation of Tax Professionals, esteemed member of Amritsar branch of NIRC, renowned faculty of ICAI and NACIN, facilitated by INRIC and EIRC branch as an eminent speaker, awarded by NIRC branch of her exemplary contribution to the profession, also presented with the award of appreciation by Intellectual Forum Amritsar. Thank you, madam. Over to you, Chairman, sir.
So thank you, Mahendra, for the wonderful introduction. So you can see, she's none other than, award. She's always through a merit. Yeah. So she's through and through a merit awardee. And apart from that, the wonderful knowledge that he had. So I'm sure that we all are going to have a wide exposure to wonderful learning. But before that, as a matter of protocol, so Sri Shyam Agarwal will now offer a virtual flower bouquet to Aanchal.
Madam, please accept.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. The fragrance and the beauty of it reaching to me all the way to Amritsar. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So with this, as we have a lot of questions in mind, and that we need to be addressed. So without wasting any further time, ma'am, over to you for the deliberations.
Thank you so much, Arupji. First of all, I am very thankful to DTPA for giving me this opportunity to interact through this virtual platform with all the members. Kolkata ना आकर भी कोलकाता आने का मजा आ रहा है, सिर्फ संदेश और रसगुल्ले मुझे नहीं मिले हैं. So, when I will come, I will definitely enjoy with all of you. And I particularly thank the President, CA Rajesh Kumar Agarwal ji,
Thank you.
CA DS Agarwala ji in absentia, and Mahendra ji, the General Secretary of DTPA, and none other than one of the renowned GST speakers sitting over there on the dais, Arup ji. So to deliberate in the presence of eminent personalities, it's indeed my pleasure, and definitely the most dynamic are attendees who are sitting on the other side of the dais. So we all are equal. We all are learning GST together. We are all growing in GST together. So whatever issues are there, whatever points are there, we will discuss that together. Some opinions, some views I will share with all of you, and some your opinions and views I will be taking home today. So I hope, sir, one thing more, because it is a combination of virtual and a physical mode. So can there be any way through which I can interact with the audience for the queries and all?
Yeah, I think we will put in the questions in the chat box, and maybe they'll be answering it.
So they can operate the chat box, right?
No, they cannot operate the chat box, but they can answer. They can see the chat box.
They can see the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they can give the answers through the voice.
No, I will to answer through the voice. Can they put the query in the chat box simultaneously?
No, query.
Just a second. Ma'am, it is a virtual, it's like a video conferencing session. So we can have a live interaction. No issue with that.
Okay.
So, for example, I'll show you some of the, say, the participants are here. They can interact with you as and when you ask. No issue with that.
Okay, as and when I ask means either they have to respond through speaking only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I got that. Chaliye, so I imagine if anybody can put anything in the chat box on, or if possible, so they can respond to the chat box, because generally I take up the queries simultaneously with the session itself, but because it's a hybrid mode, so we'll take up the queries at the end.
Okay,
so I will reserve a few 15 odd minutes for the queries at the end. Right. So members, are we all ready to go into it? And I, question bhi khud karungi, answer bhi khud hi dungi aaj. So I expect you all are ready, sitting over there to learn GST together. GST are 9 and 9C. And as sir said, sir, mera to Kolkata se aisa rishta hai I have been to Kolkata many a time, so personal and professional reasons both ways. And my bhua and my entire my side family is from Kolkata only. So I love coming to Kolkata, and I love the people of theirs. And Kolkata has given us very many stalwarts in the GST profession. So without taking much of the time, now I come to the topic and I share the screen. But before that, let me ask you a question. And you will answer in your own minds today, and will reach to me, because I can will make a few apprehensions about your answers. Imagine, first of all, if I talk about the format of GSTR 99C, that has not undergone any change. That has not undergone any change. The format is almost same with a little bit of changes but the provisions during the year have undergone a number of change. The format of 3B has changed. So as a result, all these points need to be considered while filing GSTR 99C. For example, Rule 37A. So there is change in the provisions. Format of 3B has changed, which will Tran 2 window was opened in this year, reopened in this year, rather I should say. So all these things, how we have to deal with it, that we will be taking up in the session. Secondly, just imagine you are filing a GSTR 99C. And the first and foremost column comes after the basic issues is your output. Now, answer me quickly that if I talk about the output, from where you will pick the figures? From where you will pick the figures? And now I show you the apprehensions of the answer. I hope, sir, the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, visible.
All right, all right. Let me make it a slideshow too. Right. So, these are your answers. Books, GSTR1, 3B, some says correct figure. So now what is this definition of correct? If I sort out this query, I would say I will pick the figures of the output through to section 2 clause 6. Turnover as per GST. One more thing. Many a times when I'm getting the
network issue. Okay. Hello. Aanchal ma'am. Hello. Hello.
उनकी तरफ से हुआ संशय
शमशेर जी, आंचल मैम का कनेक्शन चला गया, एक बार देखिए ना. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Sorry, sir. I think so. There is some issue. I have connected from two networks. Network certainly has gone out. So
No
meanwhile,
problem.
I continue from it.
No
Am I
problem.
audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Clearly audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
audible.
All right, sir. All right. Just give me a while. इस पे PPT है. Put a PPT in the pen drive and give it. Right. So, friends, what I was talking about, that GSTR 3B, GSTR 9 when we are filing, many a times it has been observed by me that the auto-populated GSTR 9 is being filed. And when we are getting the assessments, audits, adjudications done, GSTR 9 acts as one of the base documents to substantiate our point. First of all, please understand, you have already filed 3B. Now, GSTR 9 is a summary of the returns that are being filed with you. And you know why I'm sharing this with you? Reason is that do not consider GSTR9 being related to the books. It is basically the summary of various returns, how you have filed. And the books comes into picture in GSTR 9C, when we have to go for the recos and all with the books of accounts. So GSTR 9 is basically the summaries of various returns. From where you should pick the figures, I give you an example. Now, first and foremost step, which I do in my office, and I will be sharing you the practical insights. Abhi we all are busy. Ki, okay, hame GSTR. Sir, I hope I can use a Hindi-English mix.
Yes, ma'am.
Will.
Yes, ma'am. Both are.
All right, all right. So, what here I want to say is that हमें लगता है कि हम आउटपुट जब शो करने जा रहे हैं, so from where we should pick. सबसे पहले I make a list कि मेरे ऑफिस में कितनी GSTR 9 और 9C जानी है. सो जनरली हम क्या करते हैं, इनकम टैक्स की ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स पिक करते हैं, उसके अकॉर्डिंग टर्नओवर लेते हैं एंड इससे ओके इसकी 2 करोड़ से ऊपर है और इसकी 5 करोड़ से ऊपर है, इसकी 9 ड्यू है और इसकी 9C ड्यू है. What we end up missing is this point that GSTR 9 and 9C turnover will not always coincide with your GSTR, with your audited financial statements. अब जब मैं प्रिपेयर कराती हूँ, मैं कैसे प्रिपेयर कराती हूँ? I say my staff to do the basic work, and that, let me open the PPT also. Just give me a while. You open. I'm just sharing the PPT. I'm just sharing.
बीच बीच में दिक्कत होगी तो
Right. उधर connect करा दो. Let me share the screen. Sir, you have to enable the screen sharing on this connect.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second.
Okay.
Yes. Allowed, ma'am. Allowed.
So meanwhile, I'm continuing.
Done, ma'am. You can check once.
Allowed, right? So yeah, I am able to share. Done. Right. So you can see this is what is in our mind. Books, GSTR 1, 3B are correct. And I was telling you that when I used to make my sheet, I always do it from the very various perspective. First, I divide it as per GSTR. I divide it as per turnover, as per audited financial statements, which is your income tax or your company law audited books of accounts. Secondly, I always make a column of GSTR 1 in Excel. Then your GSTR 3, because there might be possibility that the party has sold some fixed assets during the year, might have done certain adjustments. For example, if it is a service sector, then advances. So all these points need to be considered. I always make 4 columns. कभी कभी ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि 3B में आपने सेल ऑफ कार दिखाई हुई है, और जब आप बुक्स का टोटल ले रहे हो तो दैट इज नॉट गेटिंग कंसिडर्ड. सो ऑलवेज सी व्हाटएवर इज देयर इन द ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स. सेकंड, योर GSTR 1, third GSTR 3B, and fourth column is the adjustments as per GST section 2 clause 6, which is very important. Section 2 clause 6, इसमें किस तरह की adjustments आएंगी? First, the adjustment will be your sale of fixed assets. It can be your advances जो balance sheet से उठकर add होने हैं. अगर आप rule 32 में हैं, so the turnover will not reconcile with your financial statements. Please make it a point. It will not reconcile with your financial statements. Rule 32, for example, जो लगता है आपके एयर ट्रेवल एजेंट्स में, forex dealers में, second hand purchase of sale of goods में. So please make sure that turnover जो आप pick कर रहे हैं, that should not merely be as per the turnover as per income tax. Right. So now you all know the limits. 2 crore tak exempted. 2 to 5 crore mandatory. Above 5 crore, GSTR 9C is only mandatory one. And GSTR 9C is now not a CA certified or a CMA certified. It is only a self-certified reconciliation. Changes क्या होगा? मैंने ऑलरेडी बोला था, पिछले साल से कोई भी ऐसे चेंजेस नहीं है जो फॉर्मेट में एज सच आए हैं, डिस्पाइट अ फ्यू चेंजेस. अच्छा, जस्ट इमेजिन फ्रेंड्स, just imagine कि अच्छा, just answer me a question and I can see you all now, so I'm a little bit able to relate with you all now. So now just tell me कि कौन सा टाइम पीरियड हो चुका है फाइनेंशियल ईयर 20 to 23 के लिए आईटीसी लेने का. इफ यू कैन प्लीज स्पीक ओवर देयर, काइंडली स्पीक. क्या टाइम पीरियड हो चुका है? 30th November हो चुका है. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. मीनिंग देयर बाय, अगर मैं जीएसटीआर 9 के पार्ट 5 की बात करूं, जो पहले 30th September की रिटर्न यानी 20th October तक था, नाउ इट हैज बीन एक्सटेंडेड टू 30th November 2023. So first and foremost changes due to this, क्योंकि लॉ चेंज हुआ, फॉर्मेट में भी चेंज होना था. सेकेंड, फिल्को की सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट आने की वजह से ट्रान 1 ट्रान 2 का विंडो रीओपन हुआ था. बिकॉज दैट विंडो वाज रीओपन, as a result these columns have now been made mandatory. So अगर आपकी पार्टी में किसी ने भी ट्रान 1 ट्रान 2 को दोबारा से फाइल किया है, रिवाइज किया है या फर्स्ट टाइम फाइलिंग की है ड्यूरिंग द ईयर 20 to 23, सो यू मस्ट डिस्क्लोज द फिगर्स देयर. फ्रेंड्स, अगर मैं बोलूंगी कॉलम मैंडेटरी है, दैट डज नॉट मीन यू हैव टू पुट द फिगर्स इन इट. नो, बनानी नहीं है, बट अगर है उस टॉपिक से रिलेटेड तो वहां जरूर दिखा देंगे. राइट. नाउ लास्ट चेंज. अच्छा, एक बात बताइए, 2A और 2B, which one has won the battle? Which one has won the battle, 2A or 2B for the financial year 20 to 23?
Actually, just one second. Oh, my
GSTR 2B.
Which is more important, 2 or 2B? 2B. So, yeah, please, Mike.
So 2B, man.
2B, right, certain.
Yeah. The house is saying
So
2B.
it is 2B that has won the battle. So जब 2B बैटल जीत गई है 1 जनवरी 2022 के ऑनवर्ड्स, तो हमें एक्चुअली रिकंसिलिएशन तो 2B के अकॉर्डिंग करनी है. लेकिन 8A में जो डेटा पॉपुलेट हो रहा है वो अभी भी 2A के बेसिस पर हो रहा है. सो अगर आपके 2A 2B और जितने मैंने चेक किए, बिकॉज यू नो अभी परसों ही कल ही विंडो ओपन हुआ है टू डाउनलोड द डिटेल्स ऑफ 8A कॉलम. 8A column. Now you can download the summary. आप 2A 2B में generally ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है, but अगर आपके 2A और 2B में ज्यादा differences हैं, so what you are supposed to do, आप उसका अगर 9C फाइल हो रही है, so you can make a reco and you can put it there in the PDF format and attach it with your 9C. अब अगर मैं if I talk about the column 8A, अगर मैं column 8A की बात करूं, so in the 8A column, the data is getting populated up to the cutoff date of 30th November 2023. So एक चीज और बता दूं, I just checked it a few minutes back. अब हम 2022-23 का डेटा एडिट भी नहीं कर पा रहे. So the windows have been blocked. Now the windows have been blocked and we are unable to edit that data. And likewise in GSTR 9 for column 8A, the data has been blocked till 30th 11/2023. So after this, neither the amendments are allowed and nor will be. Right. All right. Now, second part. 9C में क्या amendments है? Very few amendments. Like first, because there were brick kilns, etc., for which a 6% rate was introduced. So likewise, for GSTR 9C amendment, the new rate of 6% has been brought in. Table 12B and 12C have been made mandatory. Friends, this is just to give you an overview कि format में कुछ खास change नहीं है. जैसे 9 में कुछ ही 2-3 changes थे, very normal ones. Likewise 9C में हाँ जो एक important change है, पहले अगर इनकम टैक्स और ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स की टर्नओवर और जीएसटी टर्नओवर में ज्यादा डिफरेंसेस होते थे, सो दैट वाज हम उसको डायरेक्टली 5O कॉलम में मर्ज कर देते थे. फ्रेंड्स, आर यू बी विद मी? हम उसको किस में मर्ज कर देते थे? 5O कॉलम में. बट नाउ it has to be given separately from table 5C to 5N. So this is one of the change. And what are the 5C columns? Unadjusted advances, deemed supplies, credit notes, trade discounts, then your unbilled revenue. All these columns are now to be given mandatory other than 5B. Unbilled revenue at the beginning, that can be merged with 5O, but otherwise are to be given. Okay, let me ask you all a question. Table number, and I hope everybody is enjoying sipping a cup of tea.
Yes, yes. We'll send you the virtual tea, ma'am.
Yeah, sir. Here it is very cold. So even I would love to have it. Chaliye. So if I talk about GSTR 9C, there is a table number 14, which asks about division of ITC demarcated into various heads. कि किस head में purchase का ITC कितना है? Expense wise ITC detail has been demanded. Has that been made mandatory for 22-23? A quick answer from all of you. दो ही options है, either yes or no. No,
So
absolutely no.
No. Ma'am, the house
No.
is saying no. Yes.
Absolutely correct. No. And please, one thing more. I have deliberated on one of the topic a few days back too. And that was how to reconcile the data in various laws. So please make sure whatever information you are furnishing, whatever HSN summaries you are furnishing here, please make sure all those data are getting reconciled with the data and information you are furnishing in GST. Because, for example, there are certain HSN codes which we give for cost audits, which we give for corporate audits. So, कभी-कभी जैसे पार्टी कुछ चेंज करवाती है कि अच्छा ये HSN यहाँ नहीं था, ये सेल इस पर्टिकुलर में नहीं थी, इसमें थी. Whenever you are making changes, it has to be comprehensive. Because you all know how important the reconciliation of different laws is, and we all are facing the heat of service tax notices coming up due to the matching concept of income tax and GST, third party information. So here also the notice has started falling. In the morning, I received a call from a professional, and she was mentioning to me that I have received 3 notices today reconciling the income tax and the GST data. So please make sure, and yes, I always call 26 AS and AIS information available on the portal as a time bomb. So diffuse this time bombs at the time of filing GSTR 9C, or should be done even at the filing of 3B to the extent information is available. And if not considered, it will give a bombastic effect after 5 years. वो जो 5 साल बाद नोटिस आएगा, और अगर हमने 26 AS, AIS ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन को रिकंसाइल नहीं किया होगा, so that is going to be problematic. Okay, answer me one more question before we. चलो पहले मैं ये शो करती हूँ, then I move there. So these are the changes in the time limits that has taken place, and you all know about it for all these sections. May it be 16.4, 34, 37.3 proviso. The dates have been changed to 30th November 2023. 30th November of every subsequent year now on. Friends, in this PPT, I have tried to put in all the tables of 9 and 9C, what have been made mandatory, and if from a particular year, then from that particular year. And what are the auto-generated columns? What are the columns that can be clubbed with another columns? This is, I'm not going to discuss it, but whenever you file your GSTR 909C, so you can check from here that what columns have been made mandatory and what are auto-populated columns which cannot be edited. What are the columns that are still optional? So now let's jump into the world of GSTR 99C with a few pointers. And what are those pointers? A quick look on the pointers. First, you can file your 9 online as well as through the offline utility if you are crossing 2 crores. Please make sure all your GST returns, 3B and 1, for the financial year 22-23 must have been filed. Only then the 9 window will pop up. If your return for that period will be pending, you will not be able to file your GSTR 9. Okay, somebody asked me, does the return need to be filed till the date? Answer is no. If you are filing 9 for 22-23, it has to be till 22-23. All the returns must have been filed. And yes, when you are making your list of the 99C that are pending, like I told you in the Excel, I get noted कि 1 की turnover कितनी है, 3B का turnover कितना है, audited financial statements का कितना है, last column adjustments as per GST. So उसमें कुछ pointers है, जैसे fixed asset का chart check कर लेना. And one thing more, even if the fixed asset is sold, so you will consider because you will have a transaction value. Even if a fixed asset on which you have taken the ITC is discarded, that also needs to be considered. That also needs to be considered. Now, secondly, GST number surrendered. Friends, अगर आपने ड्यूरिंग द ईयर कोई जीएसटी नंबर सरेंडर किया है बट उसके ड्यूरिंग द ईयर टर्नओवर लिमिट 2 करोड़ और 5 करोड़ को एक्सीड करनी है, यू आर सपोज टू फाइल जीएसटीआर 9 एंड 9C फॉर दैट. नेक्स्ट, जीएसटी में दुविधा पता क्या रही है? जीएसटी में दुविधा रही है ना तो रिविजन होती है, मेड बी 3B. आज तक हम गवर्नमेंट से मांग रहे हैं हमें टर्नओवर में नेगेटिव फिगर्स पुट करने दीजिए, वो नहीं हुआ है. 3B रिवाइज नहीं हो सकती, 915 कैन नॉट बी रिवाइज. और स्टार्टिंग में शायद सबने एक गलती तो की है, किसी में 0 कम लग गया और किसी में 0 ज्यादा लग गया. कोई गलती याद आई अपनी? मुझे तो याद आई. मेरी पार्टी का पहली बार जब हम जुलाई में रिटर्न भर रहे थे 25,000 टैक्स था. आई सेड टू माय स्टाफ, इसकी रिटर्न को भर के मेरे पास लाओ. उसने 25,000 के आगे 0 एक्स्ट्रा लगा दिया, 2.5 लाख, और सबमिट कर दी. एंड देन शी केम टू मी एंड सेड, मैडम ये तो सबमिट हो गई है, एडिट ही नहीं हो रही है. एंड वो 25,000 टर्न इनटू 2.5 लाख. इस चीज को अवॉइड करने के लिए समटाइम्स द फिगर व्हेन यू आर चेंजिंग इट 20% से ज्यादा, so the figure gets marked in red, but that does not mean कि आपको नोटिस आएगा उस पर. This is marked in red just to highlight कि सीए साहब, एडवोकेट साहब, चेक कर लीजिए कि आपने इस फिगर को 20% से ज्यादा मॉडिफाई किया है, अप और डाउन. So kindly recheck it, but this is just to highlight you. 9 cannot be revised. Friends, एक चीज और बताऊं, which is important. Why GSTR 9 should be correctly filed? Because it is one of the very vital documents. जब आपको ये प्रूव करना है कि मेरी इंटेंशन मिसस्टेटमेंट, मिसरिप्रेजेंटेशन और ओमिशन का नहीं था. अगर मेरे से 3B में something has been mistakenly omitted or something has been wrongly furnished, the same has been corrected in GSTR 9. And even if left in GSTR 9, that has been corrected in 9C. You know why? I give you an insight of department's view. They always try to cover the matters under section 74, fraud cases, suppression cases. And we have seen service tax के जितने notices issue हुए हैं, those all are being covered under the suppression or material misstatement cases. So in order to prove that this was a genuine mistake, If you are able to correct your mistake to the extent possible, do it in GSTR 9 and furthermore. कभी कभी पार्टी बोलती है, if we will get the notice तब देखेंगे. सर, तब देखने में और पहले देखने में इंटरेस्ट वो अमाउंट डबल हो जाता है. एग्जाम्पल, आज अगर आप पार्टी को कोई चीज मार्क करते हैं, अच्छा एक बात बताइए, एक पार्टी का पैन नंबर के बेसिस पर जीएसटी नंबर है, इंडिविजुअल प्रोप्राइटरशिप में, एंड द पर्सन हैज रिसीव्ड द शॉप रेंटल्स इन हिज सेविंग अकाउंट which he has taken to his capital account. A person आपके पास ऑडिट कराने आया है, that audit is of जय अम्बे एंटरप्राइजेस या जय काली एंटरप्राइजेस, एंड नाउ और जीएसटी नंबर भी जय काली एंटरप्राइजेस के नाम का है, ट्रेड नेम जय काली एंटरप्राइजेस. नाउ यू हैव टू आंसर मी that whether that shop rental will be covered for GST, yes or no?
Yes.
Any answer from like a proprietor who's having a business, he or she is also getting some rentals which they are getting in the savings account. So whether the savings account credits, they will be considered for the GST return.
Absolutely correct.
So housing unanimous? Yes.
It does not matter whether particular income is coming in your saving account or in your current account. Whether you are taking it to your P&L account or whether you are crediting it to your capital account. This is the point I want to highlight here. But the parties are of the view, array, I have the GST number of Jay Kali Enterprises. This is something personal. If it is under the same PAN number, then that is not personal at all. The PAN number based GSTs you have taken. So you have to pay tax on that shop rentals, commercial renting the person is receiving. And for all the purposes, it will be added to the turnover. Now, when the client came to you, you were doing the audit of that person. You said him that this needs to be done. And one more thing. Friends, kabhi wahi parties comes to us, jinka we do the income tax audits also, and we do the GST work also. Now what happens? Because income tax audits and the books finalization are done at an earlier stage, so we finalize the books. We do the income tax audits and we stamp those two. Later on, when we have to file 9, so we start matching GSTR 2. We start doing matching GST closing balances. And to your surprise, it might not match. At that time, आप सोचिए, एक books जिनको आप authenticate कर चुके हैं, जिसपे आप अपनी stamping put कर चुके हैं, and you know what happens? Party बोलती है, अच्छा, ये bills थे, I तो never knew about it. I तो made cash payment for the same, and this is what the practical scenario is. They have not accounted for the same in their books of accounts. At that time, you will find that the entire books of accounts reliability is gone. You might have to revise your audit reports also in order to incorporate those entries that have been missed. So what I advise, a bit of advice for you all, whenever you are finalizing the books of accounts of the party, whenever you're getting the income tax audits done, whenever you are going for the corporate filings, please make sure a little bit of GST work must be done at that stage. And what is that little bit? Turnovers should be matched as per GST and income tax. Your inputs should be matched. Your closing balances should be matched with the ITC ledger online. Then your 2B, and there is no fun of matching 2A, 2B on totality basis. It's actually a futile thing. It has to be done on bill-to-bill basis, because there might be certain entries like 17 subsection 5 for which you don't have to take the credit, and you are matching in totality that will be of no use. So such little work, I always get my Excel sheet ready for GST at the time of finalizing my income tax. So आधे से ज़्यादा काम तो GSTR 9(9)C का is done at the stage when we are going for the income tax audits. Now, if I talk about GSTR 9(C), even if 9 में कोई mistake रह गई है, you still have a chance to correct it in 9(C). Do it. Okay, now I ask you all a question. Kolkata branch of your client has a turnover of 4 CR. One branch in Mumbai with a turnover of 50 lakhs. One branch in Punjab with a turnover of 0. No output, only a head office. Or otherwise, you take it to be a godown or something. And one in Tamil Nadu. So we covered all the parts, north, east, south, west. So one in Tamil Nadu with a turnover of 1 CR. How many 9 and 9C will be filed? Quickly.
4.
How many 9 and 9C?
4. That's for the house.
4. So 4 plus 4, 8. What point I want to highlight? You have to check the turnover limit of 2 crores and 5 crores pan-India, irrespective of individual branch turnovers. So it doesn't matter, even if a branch is 0 turnover, the 9 and 9C, if the overall pan limit is exceeded, has to be complied with. 9 and 9C both needs to be filed for that branch also. Now, second question. Example. In Jaykali example, the person had the shop rental, which he had shown in the capital account and received in saving account, and he has not paid taxes on the same. Now you say that person, Mr. Client, you are supposed to pay tax on the same. One second. I switch over to my original laptop and uspe mujhe mark bhi, I will be able to mark it. Yes.
इसमें तो शेयर करना पड़ेगा, है ना?
Yeah.
Same page share.
Okay. So, now my question is, now you said to your client, Mr. Client, you have to pay tax on this, shop rentals. My question to you all is, cash or credit, with which you will get it paid? Cash or credit? Quick answers from you all.
Yes. So, you have to pay the tax. So, if you have to pay the tax, as per your GST 9 calculations, so will you pay that through cash or through credit?
Yes.
So, ma'am, here the answer is that we will pay through cash.
Okay, so the answer is we need to pay it through the cash. Okay. Anybody who feels like that it has to be paid through the credit? 1 second, sir.
Tax can be paid through credit. Interest can be paid. It can be paid
One second. Yeah. Anybody
Okay, so
who
now,
feels like that it has to be through the credit ledger?
So on your second question, there is a bit of a change, which is like there's an option that we can pay through credit. That's the view of the house. Some of the members.
But interest should be through.
That is the view of the house. All right. All right. Now let me answer.
It's optional. Yeah.
Friends, if I say you, if there is output tax and you have the input, your client has the input underlying, you say him, you have to pay it through the cash. And if I ask you, where is the section and where is the provision where it has been written? The answer is nowhere. Nowhere. There is no section which restricts you from using your input tax credit to pay your output tax liability. And even leave it behind the normal scenarios. Even if you have inspection and the officer says that there is an output tax which is supposed to be paid other than the interest and penalty, you can use your credit ledger for the payment of the same. So why such restriction? The answer is the only restriction for which you all answered me is the form instructions. GSTR 9 form in its instruction has considered that any increase in liability must be paid through cash only. And there is no section restricting the same. So there is no section as such restricting the same. Hence, first of all, you must appraise your client, or if you are the person who is going to take the decision. अगर तो पार्टी का अंडरलाइन क्रेडिट है एंड यू से टू पार्टी कि भाई आपको इसको कैश में पे करना पड़ेगा, एंड द पार्टी सेज मेरा तो इतना अंडरलाइन क्रेडिट पड़ा हुआ है, व्हाई आई एम सपोज टू डू इट थ्रू द क्रेडिट. सो देन इन दैट केस you must acknowledge and you must say to your party that okay, we can do it through the credit also. Now, how will you do it? If in the DRC 03, you do it with the, आज इसने ना मुझे लिटरली बहुत परेशान कर दिए, कभी ये कम हो जाता है और कभी ये बढ़. Yes, sir.
No worries, no worries.
No, sir, just I am not able to.
नहीं, GST का technical glitch तो होगा नहीं ना.
Right, sir. The window has got so shortened up that I need to make it full screen for myself too. 1 second. Yeah, full screen. And I just resume the slideshow. I think so. उधर से शेयर स्क्रीन बंद कराइए पुराने वाले से. Yeah. Slideshow. Okay. Yes. So the first and foremost thing is that if you are going to pay DRC 03 and you select from it the pop-up window annual return, it will allow you only cash option. And this is the only due to the instruction embedded in the form. There is no section, no rules that bars you from using your credit. So if your party is ready and you make them this point clear, और वो कहते हैं जी मेरा तो इतना accumulation है, I'm already under inverted duty structure, and you are saying me that you have to pay it through the cash, I won't do that. So then in that case, from the drop down list, select 73 subsection 5, do the voluntary payment, it will allow you to use the crediting. Sir, एक बात बताइए, अगर यही liability आपको 2 months पहले दिख जाती या 2 days पहले दिख जाती, there was no provision in the law that restricts you from using the credit. So you can select that, but please make it sure interest. और ये बहुत बारी बहुत professionals की query भी आती है मुझे, and that was that क्या मुझे interest लगेगा? Friends, please listen to me. Net concept in section 50, interest was introduced in the proviso with retrospective effect. No problem in that. But if you go through the wording of it, it says output liability of that period is shown in the return for that period. Meaning thereby, January 23 की return, January 23 की return जब आप फाइल कर रहे हैं, अगर आप late फाइल कर रहे हैं, say it in June, but liability of January you are showing in January only. No problem. You can take the benefit of net 1 lakh output, 80,000 input, net 20,000 will be liable for interest. However, if the liability January return has been filed nil, January return has been filed nil, and the liability of January you are showing in June return, the answer is the benefit of net will not be available and it will become a litigative issue. And when I say litigative issue, means you have to fight for the same. I'm not saying it. You must substantiate that the person who is either doing it in June, you need to prove and you need to fight for the same कि आप जो person January की return June में भरता है, you are giving the benefit of net. In case the person who is filing the has filed the Jan return on time, but showing the liability in June, the benefit of net is not available. So you need to challenge that provision of the proviso along with the Rule 88B, but directly the benefit of interest will not be available as per the wording of the proviso. Moreover, if you have been issued a notice under 73 and 74, the benefit of net is not available. So अगर आप आज DRC पे कर रहे हैं, आप क्रेडिट यूज कर पाएंगे, बट डिपार्टमेंट इस केस में भी इंटरेस्ट का नोटिस दे रहा है, बिकॉज द प्रोवाइजो इज नॉट एप्लीकेबल अगर एक मंथ की लायबिलिटी हम सब्सिक्वेंट मंथ में अकाउंट फॉर कर रहे हैं. आई होप आई कुड मेक द पॉइंट क्लियर. सो एंड वन थिंग, एक तो इंटरेस्ट कैलकुलेशन, डिपार्टमेंट जब इंटरेस्ट कैलकुलेट करता है, सो मेनी पीपल सेड मी, जैसे 42 43 का रिवर्सल कैलकुलेट किया, एंड आई एम डिस्कसिंग सम प्रैक्टिकल इश्यूज विद यू. 42 43 का रिवर्सल कैलकुलेट किया, एंड द पर्सन सेड कि मैंने तो उसकी पेमेंट क्रेडिट लेजर से ही की है, एंड माय बैलेंस इन क्रेडिट लेजर हैज नेवर फॉलन बिलो द रिवर्सल आई एम गोइंग टू डू. सो व्हाई ऑफिसर इज आस्किंग फॉर द इंटरेस्ट? Friends, whenever you are calculating interest, please make a clear distinction in two parts about the interest. Whether the interest relates to input side or output side. Rule 88B. If it is related to the output side, does not matter that how much balance is there in the credit ledger. If it is related to the input side, example, if there is certain turnover that has not been shown, it is output side. If you have taken any ineligible ITC, 17 subsection 5 ITC, and you are going to reverse it, it is input side. In output side, we never check for interest. Never. We never check for the balance in the ledger. Never. But for input, the interest will be leviable when the balance falls below that amount. And sir, 42 43 reversal में अगर हम rule 42 देखें, it says the reversal will be liable to interest under section 50 subsection 1 as an output. So as a result, whatever is the balance in the input credit ledger does not matter. So the officer was right saying that the interest on the same stands payable. I hope I could make the point clear. So interest or sir, rule 88B is a very well drafted rule. कभी कभी तो एक सेशन 88B पर ही हो जाता है. So you need to consider that point. All right. Moving ahead. अब हमने कुछ pointers कर लिए. Prerequisites. हम checklist बनाकर चलते हैं income tax में. Documents भी check कराते हैं. And so on. Sir, GSTR 9 is an opportunity which will save your client from the hefty interest, because in 5 years, then the tax almost gets doubled in the form of interest, 90% approximately. So 9 is a chance where you can correct those mistakes. And what are the things? You know how I get it done? If I can show you, I always get a bunch ready of my GSTR 9(9)C in the office. And you know what that bunch contains? Audited financial statements along with the schedules properly showing the balances. Then bifurcated branch wise. And how I get that branch wise statements ready like this. So remember Kolkata branch, Punjab branch, Tamil Nadu branch, and there was one more, Mumbai branch. And then total. And total matching with the audited financial statements, and the last column is difference. So that I should get to know what is the branch-wise situation, and the branch-wise P&L balance sheet that I am taking is matching with the audited financial statements. We have to upload the audited financial statements in totality whenever we are filing GSTR 9(9)C for the branch. But the figures of the branch have to be put in while filing 9 and 9C. Now, apart from this, my bunch contains a copy of 26 AS along with AIS, the time bomb. Never miss that out. When I was doing one of the audit, ये जो मैंने आपको बताया, the party had a good turnover, good books of accounts. When I checked his capital account and when I checked his 26 years, I got to know the person is having interest income of 50 lakhs on which he has not paid the GST. Achha, can I ask you a question? Is interest liable to GST? Is interest income liable to GST?
As for the house, no.
Answer is no. So I just add on a few pointers. I divided interest into 3 parts. First interest, FDR interest, saving interest, which are not in the course or furtherance of business. My personal means my appropriation of my income. That is not a supply. This will not be even added for the calculation of your limit of 2 crores or 5 crores. Because this is not a supply. Second, interest on unsecured loans. Now imagine a lady. And you know why I'm talking about a lady? Because many a times we have seen businessmen who अपनी wife का deposit ले लेते हैं and then they pay interest on the same. So interest on unsecured loan. Now this lady L is also showing the income under 44 AD. अपना टॉय बिजनेस दिखाया है, टॉयज की सेल परचेज करती हैं. She has a turnover plus she's also receiving an interest on unsecured loan. Now my question is, will this interest on unsecured loan be added to her turnover?
No.
Answer is yes. Because this interest on unsecured loan is an exempt supply. Now let me clarify the point fully. Exempt supply. As per section 2 clause 6, all the exempt supplies also form part of the turnover. But you know what was the problem? Government gave a limit of 40 lakhs for sale and purchase of goods and composition. But there was a condition embedded to it that the person must be exclusive supplier of goods. अब ये lady तो got struck. Because वैसे तो she is an exclusive supplier of goods. She is dealing in toys. But she had a service income, which is interest on unsecured loan. Although exempt, but income to hai, turnover to hai. Exempt income is also the part. Exempt turnover is also the part of turnover. So government inserted an explanation that it will not distort your composition and the 40 lakhs limit. So uske liye nahi hoga, but it is an exempt supply which will be added for calculation of turnover purpose. Tax limit nahi karna. Third, taxable interest. ये मुझे मिला था 26 years से पार्टी की. 50 lakhs rupees उसने अपने डेटर से इंटरेस्ट चार्ज किया था. And by virtue of section 15, this interest income was taxable. So please check 26 years AIS information, quite vital in order to get your GSTR 9, your GST filings done. Then books of accounts, because many a times it has been seen, कभी-कभी balance closing मिलाने के लिए CGST, SGST में एक journal entry डाल के मिला दिया जाता है. Books of accounts में ledger check करिए, proper ICS input output ledger should be maintained and no such entries there. Cost and corporate records, उसमें क्या figures गई हैं, and yes, very vital document. और अभी जब मैं आपसे discuss करूंगी ना provisions, so this 21-22 annual returns part 5 पिछले साल का. And friends, now I want you all with me. See, this is the square on which you all are sitting. This is the square on which you all are sitting on your chairs, and it is 22-23. 22-23. Now, a square before it is 21-22. 21-22 का कुछ डेटा 22-23 में आ जाता है up to 30th November तक. Likewise, there is another square which is 2324. 20 to 23 का कुछ data goes to 2324 up to 30th 11. This is called this I call as spillover effects. This one, the first one. Now this spillover effects needs to be removed in order to check कि क्या 22-23 का data correctly गया है. And you know what is the problem? The problem is 3B. 3B is a mixture. 3B is a mixture. The GSTN cannot segregate 21-22 figures from 20-23. अब जब हम 3B की फिगर उठाते हैं और उसको बुक से कंपेयर करते हैं, which the officers also do while issuing the notices, which the GSTN is doing, which their reports like EDWIT, etc. are doing. So they tally an inappropriate data with the book's data because it has spillover effects of 21-22. And the effects that have gone to the next year. So this document talks about last year impacts, part 5 of last year. Provided आपने पिछले साल की 9 correctly file की हुई है. And next year, इस साल के impacts जो 23-24, जब हम इनको combine, पिछले वाले को बाहर निकाल देंगे, अगले वाले को add कर देंगे, तो अपनी book से data मिलाइएगा. I hope you all are getting that. And this is what we are going to do. How I do it, I share with you through the help of a Excel chart. I do so. I show you once. कोई high-tech technology नहीं है इसमें. But this is simple because when my staff used to say me na, ma'am 3B नहीं match कर रही है, 1B match कर रही है, and so on. So I used to say, give me in writing. And Excel is the best way to write it. Right? Have a look. I'm sharing the same. Here it is. So now you all can see on your screen. This. One side is sales. Another side is purchase. Now let me show you this sales. Friends, sales में सबसे important 3 documents है. सबसे important क्या? Documents ही 3 है. First, your 3B. Second, your GSTR1. And third is your books of accounts. So you have 3B, GSTR1 and your books of accounts. I have given 3 colors to them. Blue, pink and green. The problem is books ka data, you can take it for 20-23. No problem. GSTR1, 20-23 available. No problem. But GSTR3B is a mixture. I took the 3B. पिछले साल के impacts reverse कर दीजिए like you do for BRS. What you have to do? Subtract last year table 10 and add current year table 11. Now this figure which you will get, this will reconcile, will be for the year 20-23. And one thing more, in this Excel chart, I have made headwise I, C and S. Furthermore, I have divided it into 2 parts, taxable sale and exempt sale. Likewise for the books. And when at the end you just put the figures, you get the differences, and the yellow marked difference is the most important difference. That is books with 3B. Books with 3B, because ultimately 3B is the force from where the taxes are paid. This is the return. Now you see, if you say 3B versus books, this is the difference. Exempt sale separately, taxable separately. Out of which, how much adjustment has been done in the next year? This. And how much is still to be done? And this next year done will be your part 5 this year. And still to be done is what, for which you are going to pay DRC 03. Wahi commission, wahi rent, shop rent, for which you are going to pay DRC 03. I do it for RCM also separately. How much is the liability of RCM as per expenditures? And likewise for the input. In input, we have 3 main documents, 3B, GSTR2, and 2B rather, I should say, and the books. Again, 2B reconciliation in totality, not a good, but not a good difference. to in cumulative one, but still it just gives you an insight. कि अच्छा 2B से prima facie is it matching? So this is 3B, and इसमें से भी अब see in 3B I have taken the gross value separately and reversal separately, so that I can get to know मैंने reversal कम किया है या मैंने gross figures गलत दिखाई हैं. Net ITC previous and impacts यानी table 12 and 13 उल्टे कर दिए. 13 minus कर दिया, 12 add back कर दिया. Now this net I can compare with the books. And when compared with the books, adjustment done post March, जो कर चुके हो 30th November 23 तक, and rest are still to be done. So, and the balance matching, which I always do. Opening difference plus this sheet difference will be the difference in the closing balances. So, a comprehensive check. Sir, the problem is the volume. इतना volume होता है client data का, so we get lost in the figures. So this allows you at least to have a check, at least to have an insight of what all is going on. So now coming back to our original PPT, bunch बन गया, ready हो गया. Now let's start with the work. First, friends, एक तो ना government ने SOP issue किया हुआ है. That SOPs of 17, 18, 18, 19 years के लिए, and post 19 also. 2 SOPs have been issued. I have made those SOPs as a part of this PPT. You know why? It will tell you कल को कौन से points queries में raise होंगे by the department. That also acts as a checklist base. Apart from that, I have given here a checklist कि P&L and GST reconcile करिएगा, RCM check करिएगा, foreign payments पे RCM, very vital, on which generally the notices are getting issued. Section 16 की conditions पूरी है या नहीं है. आजकल बहुत सारे notices आ रहे हैं cancel dealer की वजह से. Although recently we have got the case law that retrospective cancellation is not something good that has been held by the Honorable High Court. Lots of notices are coming where the purchasers are denied ITC because the other person's registrations have been cancelled. There I always put all my section 16 conditions are fulfilled. My credit is getting reflected in 2A. Under which section I've been asked to reverse my ITC. And we have got many favorable judgments based upon it. So please make sure, not judgments, the orders based upon it. So section 16 conditions, check 17.5, negative list ka koi credit has not been availed. And yes, 180 days criteria. My dear friends, GST की कहानी ये है कि GST पीरियड के अकॉर्डिंग चलता है. जब आप मुझे कोई आंसर पूछते हो ना, if you ask me some query, I cannot give you direct answer until or unless I will confirm the period from you. अगर पुराना टाइम होगा तो शायद मैं बोल दूं 180 डेज को अच्छे से फाइट करेंगे, बिकॉज रूल 37 में 2 का रेफरेंस था जो कभी आई ही नहीं. फेलियर टू पे एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हैं, बट रूल 37 हैज नाउ बीन अमेंडेड. So to the extent you can adhere to the law and you want to adhere, the party wants to adhere, try to fulfill now the criteria of 180 days, because rule 37 making reference to GSTR 2 has now been amended. So 180 days का criteria, especially for the huge amounts, अगर refunds हैं वो properly deal for हुए हैं, SAC और HSN classification issues travel up to Supreme Courts. 11,000 are still pending with the Honorable Supreme Court of the excise regime classifications. Do check whether the correct HSN oils, you know, one of my clients is facing such a litigation in oil segment. Fat oil hai, animal oil hai, animal fat hai, plant based hai, and the rates are different. Advances. जो advances during the year gets converted into sales, that will not impact your turnover. Those have already get converted into sales. The impact can only be in trust. But those advances which are still standing at the closing of your balance sheet for our service provider is taxable in the year 20 to 23 and will impact your turnover also. Check for the advances. closing balances, export provisions are complied for or not. And yes, transit insurance, etc. At the end of the bill, valuation provision basically, usko consider kiya gaya hai for the purpose of calculation of tax. Many a times we have seen in case of URPs, the self-invoices are not being raised. Branch transfers, yes, one more point of adjustment. अगर आप income tax के according उठा रहे हैं and the person has multiple branches, inter-branch transfers are cut from the consolidated financials. Another point of adjustments in order to calculate the turnover. There is sale of fixed asset, and even discarding of fixed asset on which ITC is taken is one of the important points. Section 18, subsection 6, read with rule 44 or rule 40 also, because there is dispute of 40 and 44 a little. Fixed asset की sale हो या discard हो, जिसपे ITC लिया है, the one is supposed to whichever is higher, transaction based tax or reversal. Interest liability, exempt supplies. So a few pointers I have tried to cover here. 9 किस पर applicable है, किस पर नहीं. I'm not just coming because that's the part. Yes, late fee of 9 and 9C has been revised. So now it is I have made a comparison of old and the new provision. Now let me come to the format of GSTR 9. सब तैयारी हो गई है. If I ask you, my dear friends, कि आपको 9 बनानी है, आप मुझसे क्या मांगेंगे? पेपर ही सोच लीजिए. आप एक नॉर्मल पेपर लीजिए एंड यू से मुझे बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन दे दो पार्टी की. ओके, नेम एटसेट्रा. अच्छा, उसका आउटपुट बता दो, उसका इनपुट बता दो और उसका टैक्स पेड बता दो. ऐसे ही तो 9 बनी है. उसका आउटवर्ड बता दो, उसका इनवर्ड बता दो और उसका टैक्स पेड बता दो. अच्छा, अब आउटपुट में तो एक और चीज पे टैक्स पे होता है. इनवर्ड सप्लाईज लायबल टू आरसीएम, वो भी यहां जोड़ दो. बट इट इज नॉट द पार्ट ऑफ टर्नओवर एज पर 2 clause 6. हाँ, बट टैक्स पे होता है, तो दे हैव एडेड इट इनटू द टैक्स. कितना भरना है, आउटपुट पर भी भरना है और आरसीएम की सप्लाईज पर भी भरना है. अब इसके 2 टेबल दे दिए, 4 and 5. I will be referring to the table numbers later on. 4 number table, आउटवर्ड जिसके ऊपर टैक्स पे होना है उससे बेस्ड है. एंड 5 इज रिलेटेड टू जो टर्नओवर तो है पर टैक्स पे नहीं होना. फॉर एग्जांपल एक्सपोर्ट्स अंडर एलयूटी, फॉर एग्जांपल एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाईज, फॉर एग्जांपल निल रेटेड सप्लाईज, देन यू हैव नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाईज. टर्नओवर तो है बट टैक्स पेबल नहीं है. कमिंग टूवर्ड्स द इनपुट, अरे 3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं. क्या ग्रॉस इनपुट कितना लिया, रिवर्सल कितना किया. याद है मेरी शीट एक्सेल की विच आई शेयर्ड, आई टुक द रिवर्सल सेपरेटली. एंड 8 2A से कंपेयर, 2A और 2B से कंपैरिजन. 3 टेबल इनपुट को दे दिए. एंड लास्ट टेबल 9. फ्रेंड्स, टेबल 9 हैज 2 parts, पेबल एंड पेड. Payable part is editable, paid part is non-editable. And table 4 में जो पेबल आएगा, टेबल 9 का पेबल वही होना चाहिए. आपको काफी ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड फिगर्स मिलती हैं. That does not mean you have to pick the figure. अरे GSTN तो वहां से डेटा पिक करता है, from wherever it can get. B2B, B2C it can get from GSTR1, वो GSTR1 से पिक कर लेता है. ITC it can get from 3B, वो 3B से पिक कर लेता है. But you must see that actually from where the figures should flow. So it means ये तीनों पार्ट में तो फिर यहां तक पार्ट 4 तक GSTR 9 कंप्लीट हो जाना चाहिए था. Then no, government said look. Yes.
Aanchal, just to inform that we'll start the Q&A from 5:30, as we have to conclude the session by 5:40 to 5:50. I have another meeting, I'm told, at 6.
Nobody, no worries. I will continue it till 6 itself. I have delayed that by 10 minutes already.
Okay.
So we can start the queries by 5:45.
Yeah, 5:40. Yeah, okay.
Right? I will conclude by 5:45.
Okay.
Now, can I continue?
Yes, ma'am, please do.
Acha, just tell me, are you all enjoying the session? At least I should have a little interaction with you all.
Yes.
All right. वो पता है क्या है, हो या ना हो, अब कहना तो हाँ ही पड़ेगा. Anyhow, चलिए, let's get back together. Now, otherwise the form should have finished till part 4. But government says March 22-23 ka data, which has gone in the 22-20, which has been filed in 22-23 returns only up to March 23. Just show that in part 2, 3 and 4. But for 22-23 that you have done next year till 30th November returns, you have to show it in part 5. Okay, the data must pertain to 22-23. Please make it a point. 22-23 data till March returns will come in first part. Part 5 will have, which has been done in next 8 months. And here also, 2 tables of output, 2 tables of input and 1 payable and paid. आउटपुट से रिलेटेड अगले साल एडजस्टमेंट किया तो 10 और 11 में जाएगा. इनपुट से रिलेटेड अगले साल एडजस्टमेंट किया तो 12 एंड 13 में जाएगा, और उसका टैक्स का इंपैक्ट टेबल नंबर 14 में जाएगा. सो इट मींस चाहे डेटा ऑटो पॉपुलेट हो रहा है टेबल नंबर 4 में, आई एम लीविंग द बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, चाहे डेटा ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड हो रहा है टेबल नंबर 4 में, आई कैन स्टिल एडिट इट एंड आई मस्ट एडिट wherever required. Now, what is the basic rule? अगर तो कोई amendment, कोई change, कोई credit note March 23 तक होता है, so that will come to part number 5. That will go to part 2, table number 4. If it is done after March 23, it has to go to part 5. Second point. आपने ये तो बोल दिया 22-23 का डेटा जो 22-23 में ही दिखाया है वो तो इस पार्ट में आएगा ही, लाइक दिस, प्लस द डेटा which has not been shown anywhere. Remember that shop rent, remember that interest on debtor that my client has not shown, but I am saying him pay tax on the same, plus additional which you are calculating, which has not been shown in the 3B of any period, has to be shown in table number 4. Okay, you mean to say that if I have to reconcile the figure as per books or as per section 2 clause 6 of GST, जो मार्च तक चला गया प्लस जो कहीं नहीं गया वो दोनों जोड़ दीजिए टेबल नंबर 4 में, प्लस जो अगले साल करेक्ट किया अप टू 30th नवंबर पार्ट नंबर 5, ये तीनों जोड़ दोगे तो 22-23 का पूरा टर्नओवर बन जाएगा. डू यू अग्री? अच्छा, सिरी हिला दो, आई कैन सी यू मूविंग योर हेड्स. All right, yes. Great. So your smile says everything. All right, chaliye. So firstly 4A B2C column जो है वो net of debit or credit notes था. You can show it net of debit or credit notes, but B2B has to be shown gross. इसकी amendments, इसकी credit notes now are mandatory to be shown, but again only up to March 23 returns. Credit note issued post March 23 will go to part number 5. Right? Now, zara table 9 dekhiye. I'm just taking the output side first. Let me show you the table number 9. याद है table number 1 वही table था जिसमें payable और paid 2 columns थे. Here, payable and paid, orange and gray. This gray column is editable column. और इसमें payable वही आना चाहिए जो आपकी 20-23 की actual liability है, यानी जो table number 4 में आ रहा है. The payable of table number 4 must match with table number 9 का payable. अब उसको pay कैसे? ये this orange one is non-editable. And you know, it is auto-populated also. और ये वही खिचड़ी है जिसको GSTN cannot segregate. It's the same mixture. Meaning thereby it has the effect of 21-20 figures. So अगर आप मुझसे पूछोगे कि spillover effects कहाँ show होंगे for output purposes, the answer is table 9 का payable minus paid will be your spillover effects for the last year. प्लस इसमें एक और स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट आएगा जिसका आज आपने DRC पे करना है. क्यों? अरे आपने तो कहा 100 रिटर्न में दिखाया, प्लस 6 कहीं नहीं दिखाया. 106 लास्ट ईयर से आया, 102 100 इस साल का, 2 पिछले ईयर्स का. तो अच्छा 6 इस बार का पेबल है, 2 पिछली बार का एक्सेस है, नेट 4 रुपीज का डिफरेंस आपको दिख रहा है. 106 माइनस 102. अरे आप जो कह रहे हैं वो मुझे एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू मिलेगा, डेफिनेटली मिलेगा. और ये रहा हमारा पार्ट 5. 10 and 11 deals with liability plus 12 and 13 deals with ITC. नेक्स्ट ईयर में जो करेक्शंस आप कर चुके हैं, और सर GSTR 9 वर्क्स अंडर द टू वे फ्रेमवर्क. लाइबिलिटी बढ़ानी है इसमें नहीं, जो तो बढ़ा चुके हो, ये तो करेक्ट कर चुके हो 3B में. बट अगर आप सोचो कि आप GSTR 9 के थ्रू कोई इनपुट ले सकते हैं नया, आप यू कैनॉट डू सो. रीजन? सर इनपुट तो तब मिलता है जब वो क्रेडिट लेजर में जाता है, और क्रेडिट लेजर में तब इंफॉर्मेशन जाती है जब वो 3B से या किसी ITC फॉर्म से फ्लो होती है. सो यू कैनॉट टेक द इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट थ्रू 3B, right? So now the table 8 details are also now available to be downloaded. Now let's do some practical example. And if you really want to be with me, keep answering, although I'm able to hear or not. Right? Let's have a look. Financial year 20 to 23 and 23-24. Case number 1. Books 15, 3B 15, 115. Wow, what an ideal situation. Everything correctly filed for 22-23. So सारा डेटा कहाँ जाएगा? Which table? Table number 4. सब कुछ करेक्ट है. मार्च की 3B तक दिखाया है. हमारा बेसिक रूल क्या था? जो मार्च की 3B तक दिखा दिया प्लस जो कहीं नहीं दिखाया. यहाँ तो सब कुछ मार्च की 3B में है. Till March 3B, no problem. Second example. Books 50, 3B 10, 110. Oh, next year correction. एक बात तो पक्की है. The correction which is done till 30th November of the next year, part 5. So this 5,000 will go to part 5. Table number 10. अगले साल आउटपुट बढ़ाया है. प्लस अच्छा टेबल नंबर 4 में कितना आएगा? You told जो 3B में गया है मार्च तक की. So table 4 with 10,000 and table part 5, table 10 with 5,000. Anybody having problem on this example, these examples, can ask me there and then. Third case. Achha, anybody can tell me GSTR 1 or GSTR 3B, which is more reliable document for calculating the output? 3B.
The house is saying 1, yeah.
3B, my dear friends. Reliability in the sense, मैं ये नहीं कह रही bill wise. I am saying it. 3B is a document जिसके through tax payment होता है. GSTR 1 is a statement of that output. सर अगर आपने 1 में दिखा दिया और 3B में नहीं दिखाया, उसका टैक्स पेबल रह जाएगा. और GSTR 9 टैक्स ओरिएंटेड रिटर्न है. So always consider 3B is a vital document. अभी in the next example I will give you the answer. कारण पता है क्या है? It might be possible 3B में करेक्शन अगले साल किया है और 1 में उसी साल में दिखा दिया. So आप किसको बेस लेंगे फिगर के लिए? 3B को बेस ले, क्योंकि टैक्स किससे आता है? 3B से आता है. अगर आप दिखाएंगे मैंने अगले साल शो किया तो आपको इंटरेस्ट पड़ जाएगा 3B के. So interest calculation etc. all takes place through 3B. Now let's see this example. इस पर्सन की बुक्स में 15,000 है and books here means section 2 clause 6 of this GST. 3B में 10 दिखाया, 1 में भी 10 दिखाया, और 5,000 never shown. And you all told me जो कहीं नहीं दिखाया वो भी टेबल 4 में जुड़ेगा. सो व्हाट विल बी योर आंसर फॉर टेबल नंबर 4? जो 3B में दिखा दिया 10 प्लस 5000 जो आउटपुट कभी नहीं दिखाया, जिसपे अब आपने क्या पे करना है? DRC03. सो टेबल नंबर 4 विल हैव द एंटायर, क्योंकि अगले साल में तो मैंने कोई करेक्शन ही नहीं किया, तो पार्ट 5 तो आएगा ही नहीं. It will not come into picture. Entire value will go to table number 4 and 5000 के लिए you will have to pay the DRC03. All right. Kindly nod your heads. Up or down or round or round. Have a look on the next examples. Here we are. Now, books 15, 3B 10. Okay, next year correction done only of 2500. हमारा रूल क्या था? टेबल नंबर 4 जो 3B में दिखा दिया 10 प्लस जो कहीं नहीं दिखाया 2500, और जो नेक्स्ट ईयर दिखाया पार्ट 5. और ये 2500 के लिए भरना पड़ेगा DRC03. Have a look. Table number 4, 12,500. DRC for 2,500 and table number 10, 2,500. Now, next example proves my point. 3B prevails over GSTR1 for selection. कि किस कॉलम में कौन सी फिगर जाएगी? And that is books में 15,000, 3B 15. Okay, 3B has been correctly filed 15,000 in the year 20 to 23 only, but one corrected next year. So now tell me, from where will you pick the figures? 3B or 1? 3B or 1?
Any answers for this? 3B. So how is
3B
it
or 1?
3B.
3B, absolutely correct. अरे 3B तो 15,000 उसी साल में correctly shown है. So entire value will go to table number 4. 1 में correction later on भी हुआ है, तो हम सारी की सारी 15,000 की फिगर टेबल नंबर 4 में ही दिखाएंगे. I hope I could make the point clear. And if you see case number 6, उसमें 3B next year correct हुई, 1 correct थी. But again, 3B will prevail. Table number 4 may only 4,000 and this will go to part 5, table number 10. Are we all clear about it? Can you show me thumbs
So
up?
if anybody, you can show your hand so that ma'am can actually understand that we are understanding, right?
All right.
And if you have any questions also, you can ask at this point of time for this. You have any questions on this? Yeah, please. Please, ma'am, we have one question on this. Just one.
Sir, if it will be a short query, I will take it. Otherwise, एक बड़ा practical example discuss करना है मुझे. So पूछिए फटाफट से. Ask.
Ma'am, मेरे को doubt.
No, Mike.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. So ma'am, my doubt was any credit note which have been issued in financial year 2024, but it pertains to a supply made in 20 to 23. Will that be shown under part 5?
Certainly, that will come under part 5.
Okay, but
Up to 30th November.
Yeah. Okay.
That will come under part 5.
But the effect of the sale
Alright.
is taken in 23-24. That is still there.
So credit note, the supplies if pertain to 20 to 23, for which the credit note has been issued till 30th November, will form part of part 5. If the supplies pertains to 23-24, for which the credit note has been issued, will certainly go to the next year GSTR 9.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's jump into one practical example along with spillover effects, and I need your utmost attention with me. Friends, this will clarify your doubts. When you are filing your GST returns, here, certain figures are freezed. Imagine yourself today only. Your certain figures are freezed, like your 3B is freezed, your last year table 10 and last year table 11. Remember in that bunch I put 10 and 11. So these are freezed figures. Okay, you mean to say out of this 1,03,000, 1 lakh belongs to the year 20 to 23. And 3,000 net belongs to the year 21, 22. Am I right? And how you can do so? Arey, in the voluminous data, you can do it through the Excel sheet. उसमें current year का 3 भी लीजिए, last year के table reverse कर दीजिए. Ultimately, you will get the figure of 20 to 23, which is 1 lakh here. Remember that Excel sheet. Now, when you were going to open your books now, the headings of this chart are very important, my dear friends. It might be possible कि 20 to 23 की figures आपने correctly दिखा दी. पहले केस में 1 lakh था, 1 lakh दिखा दिया. Okay, table 4 will come with 1 lakh. You remember 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. Right. Whatever is the payable of table number 4 should go to table number 9. देखो सब cases में 4 का payable 9 के payable से match करेगा. और स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट कहां दिखेगा? पेबल और पेड का डिफरेंस. इस साल का पेबल था 1 लाख, आपने पे किया 3,000. 3,000 इज द स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट. सो अगर आपको ऑफिसर को टैली कराना है, लास्ट ईयर का टेबल 10 और 11 नेट करिए और पेबल और पेड को मिला दीजिए. दिस विल शो यू द स्पिल ओवर इफेक्ट ऑफ टर्नओवर. अरे पार्ट 5 का तो कोई क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है, 0. डीआरसी का कोई क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है. 1 लाख टर्नओवर था, 1 लाख का 1 लाख मैच कर गया. सेकंड केस 1,08,000. ओहो, 8,000 कम दिखाया है. 2 केसेस है. नेक्स्ट ईयर करेक्टेड, नेक्स्ट ईयर नॉट करेक्टेड. इफ यू हैव करेक्टेड इट नेक्स्ट ईयर, नेक्स्ट ईयर मीन्स टेबल नंबर 10. 1 lakh will go to part 4, table 4, and 8,000 will go to table number 10. Total reconciled 1,08,000. कोई डीआरसी नहीं जाएगा, कुछ नहीं जाएगा. लेकिन अगर नेक्स्ट ईयर करेक्शन नहीं किया तो उसका तो डीआरसी भी भरना पड़ेगा. एंड रिमेंबर द बेसिक रूल, जो 3B में दिखा दिया कितना 1 लाख प्लस जो कहीं नहीं दिखाया 8,000. 1,08,000 will go to table number 4. अब देखो जरा पेबल और पेड का डिफरेंस. अगले साल तो कुछ दिखाया ही नहीं, तो पार्ट 5 तो खाली रहेगा, empty, no figures in it. Unfair. Now अब देखो इस साल का पेबल 8,000, लास्ट ईयर स्पिल ओवर का इफेक्ट 3,000, नेट 5K is your difference of payable and paid. It means payable और paid में क्या निकलता है? करंट ईयर का पेबल या रिफंड और लास्ट ईयर का एक्स्ट्रा पेड नेट ऑफ होके दिखता है. अब ये तो बात थी जब बुक्स में मुझे फिगर हायर मिली 1,08,000. हो सकता है बुक्स में फिगर कम हो और मैंने टैक्स ज्यादा पे किया है. अब कम है, अगले साल करेक्ट कर दिया, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. हमारा रूल क्या था? अगले साल करेक्ट किया तो इस बार टेबल नंबर 11 यूज हो गया. अगले साल पे किया तो इस बार टेबल नंबर 11 यूज हो गया. ओके, अब हेयर तो हो तो गया 1 लाख और माइनस 8,000, 92,000 नेट. हेयर इट इज नेगेटिव क्योंकि टेबल नंबर 11 है. बट अगर करेक्ट नहीं किया, सर GSTR 9 acts as a document for taking refund where excess taxes have been paid. आप उस साल की लायबिलिटी दिखाएंगे सेम रूल के साथ. 1 लाख बनता था, नॉट करेक्टेड एनीवेयर, माइनस 8,000, 92 मेरी इस साल की लायबिलिटी थी. मैंने अगले साल करेक्ट ही नहीं किया तो पार्ट 5 0 है. 92 लायबिलिटी दिखानी चाहिए थी और मैंने ज्यादा दिखाई है। देखो यहाँ पे डिफरेंस दिख रहा है, 8,000 रिफंड का, 3,000 लास्ट ईयर का, 11K 11,000 रुपए पेबल और पेड में डिफरेंस आ रहा है। दिस यू विल शो टू योर ऑफिसर कि मेरा पेबल तो 92 था, मैंने पे 1 लाख किया है, आई एम एलिजिबल फॉर 8,000 रिफंड प्रोवाइडेड इट इज विद इन अ टाइम पीरियड ऑफ 2 years. So this document acts as a base document for taking the refund, provided 9 is filed correctly. When I was making all these points, my very good article, he's sitting by my side too, और ये PPT, ये points, ये सब he has helped me preparing so much for it. He said me, मैम जब आप सच्ची पे पूछो, जब मैं ये बनाते हैं ना रिटर्न्स, ये सारे पॉइंट आपके इकट्ठे ही आते हैं मेरे पास। मैंने कहा क्या मतलब? He said मैम कुछ अगले साल बढ़ाया है, कुछ अगले साल कम किया है, कुछ कमीशन और कुछ वो शॉप रेंट छूट गया है, सो आई मेड दिस कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ ऑल। बुक्स में मिली टर्नओवर 1,10,000, मतलब 2 क्लॉज 6 के अकॉर्डिंग टर्नओवर 1,10,000। I said ओके, 1 लाख तो करेक्टली दिखा दी हुई है मार्च तक की रिटर्नों में, अगले साल बढ़ाई भी है, कम भी की है अप टू नवंबर, एंड व्हाट इज दैट अमाउंट? नेट 4,000, 7,000 बढ़ाई है, 3 कम की है। अरे बाबा, जो अगले साल की है ना मई 23 और जुलाई में, उसको तो पहले पार्ट 5 में ले जाओ। 7 बढ़ाई है, 3 कम की है, नेट इंपैक्ट टेबल नंबर 14 में आ गया 4,000। ओके, 1 लाख तो उसी साल की 3B में है, प्लस अरे 6,000 वो कमीशन है, वो शॉप रेंट है जिसपे आपके क्लाइंट ने जीएसटी पे नहीं किया, आप कह रहे हो पे करना है 6, टोटल 1,6 यहां, नेट इंपैक्ट 4 यहां, 1,10,000 टैली हो गया, और ये 6,000 का डीआरसी बनेगा। सर अगर आप ये चेक्स लगा के चलेंगे, ऑल योर फिगर्स विल गेट रिकंसाइल्ड। और जिस तरह से मैंने बोला आउटपुट का इंपैक्ट पेबल और पेड में आता है, इनपुट का इंपैक्ट टेबल नंबर 6J में आता है। हियर सेम एग्जांपल बनाइए, पूरी डिस्कस नहीं कर रही हूं, सेम ऊपर के हेडिंग अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट है। आपके यहां 1 लाख, ये देखो अब 6A तो फ्रीज्ड है, 6A इज फ्रीज्ड फॉर ऑल 1,02,000, पर इस साल का आईटीसी कितना है? 1 लाख, 2,000 तो लास्ट ईयर का है, 2,000 डिफरेंस आ गया। एक ऑप्शन है आप इसको 6J में ही रहने दें। अगर आप इसको 6J में रहने देते हैं, जो प्रेस रिलीज कहती है, तो जब आप 9C में जाते हैं, आपका इंपैक्ट देखो। एक चीज और, वहां आउटपुट अगर 6,000 कमीशन निकली थी, सो यू आर सपोज टू पे थ्रू DRC 03। यहां अगर आपसे कोई आईटीसी क्लेम होना रह गया है 6,000 का, it will lapse. You cannot claim the new ITC through GSTR 9. So जब आप 9C में बनाएंगे, now all these columns are mandatory for table number 12, तो यहां डिफरेंस निकलेगा 8,000 as per press release। 6 जो इस साल का लैप्स हुआ और 2,000 जो लास्ट ईयर का कैरी हुआ। लेकिन अगर आप इस कॉलम को 6M में 7 दिखा देते हो, 6J में डिफरेंस लास्ट ईयर का 6M में दिखा देते हो, which is not as per press release, but you can show it if you are able to substantiate it to your officer. Then अगले साल जब आप 9C बनाएंगे उसी साल की, so सिर्फ बुक्स के साथ जो डिफरेंस निकलेगा वो 6,000 का निकलेगा, जो ITC लैप्स हुआ है। So both the options are correct. There is no problem in that. As regards to input tables, friends, और output tables वापस लेके जा रही हूँ after these examples. Table number 4 and 5, because I will be winding up in another 5 minutes for and will open. But उससे पहले 1-2 issues discuss करना चाहती हूँ। Sir, table number 4 और 5 में exempted और nil rated को interchange कर सकते हैं। नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई सेपरेट दिखाना जरूरी है, एंड इट इंक्लूड्स योर नो सप्लाईज ऑल्सो। कुछ लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं इसमें एफडीआर का इंटरेस्ट दिखाएं, माय आंसर इज नो, क्योंकि आप यहाँ दिखाएंगे, ऑफिसर पूछेगा ये तो नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई है या ये इस पे रिवर्सल का है। सो आई जनरली डोंट शो, आई डोंट रिपोर्ट माय एफडीआर इंटरेस्ट एंड एटसेट्रा, बिकॉज दैट इज नॉट अ सप्लाई एट ऑल. Now this D and E can be interchanged, but F has to be mandatorily separately given. Apart from that, टेबल नंबर 6 ये ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड आती है और इसमें सब मिक्सचर है। 6B में डेटा, अब कैपिटल गुड्स का सेपरेट देना जरूरी है, इनपुट एंड इनपुट सर्विसेज कैन बी इंटरचेंज, कैन बी मिक्स टुगेदर, बट ये डेटा 3B के अकॉर्डिंग जाना चाहिए। मैंने पहले बोला था जो डेटा, और दैट इज व्हाई आइडियली द डिफरेंस शुड बी 0 आइडियली इन 6G, क्योंकि दोनों ही तो फिगर्स, हाँ, बट 6G में किसका डिफरेंस आएगा? लास्ट ईयर का, लास्ट ईयर का। सो ये 3 क्यों? मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बोला था GSTR9 बुक्स के साथ रिको नहीं है। GSTR9 समरी इसका समेशन, 3B का समरी है, 3B का समेशन है। So ideally, the difference in the 6J should be 0, but the last year impacts will appear here. और एक चीज और है, जब GSTR7, जब टेबल नंबर 7 में हम रिवर्सल्स फीड कर रहे हैं और जब वो टेबल नंबर 8 में कंपैरिजन के लिए उठाता है, सो वो नेट ऑफ रिवर्सल्स फिगर नहीं उठाता है। एंड 37A, और ये टेबल नंबर 9 मैंने ऑलरेडी आपसे डिस्कस किया है, और टेबल नंबर 10, 11, 12 ये दोनों ITC से रिलेटेड है। HSN समरी, इनपुट की कंपल्सरी नहीं है, आउटपुट की कंपल्सरी है, वही से 4 डिजिट और 6 डिजिट जो नॉर्मल रूल है। एक चीज 37A, फ्रेंड्स 37A रूल कहता था 30 नवंबर तक अगर आपके सप्लायर 30 सितंबर तक अगर आपके सप्लायर ने 3B नहीं भरी तो आपको ITC रिवर्स करना था 30 नवंबर तक। अगर नहीं करोगे तो इंटरेस्ट लगेगा। अगर कर देगा, जब कर देगा आप उसको रिक्लेम कर पाओगे। लेट मी शो यू, लेट मी शो यू। अब जब ये हियर इट इज 37A राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, आपको वो रिक्लेम मिलेगा। सर रिक्लेम उस साल की रिटर्न में जाए। लेट सपोज आपके क्लाइंट ने 30 सितंबर तक नहीं भरा, सप्लायर ने, आपने इनपुट लेकर रखा है, आपको 30 नवंबर से पहले पहले रिवर्स करना है। रिवर्सल अगर वो कर देता है, आप कर देते हैं, रिवर्सल उसी साल की GSTR9 में आ जाएगा क्योंकि आपने 30 नवंबर से पहले पहले किया है। लेकिन अगर आप रिक्लेम करते हैं, सो रिक्लेम का सेपरेट कॉलम है। अगर वो भर देता है 3B और आप रिक्लेम करते हैं, रिक्लेम विल गो टू द GSTR9 ऑफ 23-24। मैंने इस PPT में 37A की अमेंडमेंट को लेकर और GSTR3B के फॉर्मेट्स को लेकर और कंप्लाई कैसे करना है 37A को वो भी बताया है। 3B में फाइल्ड स्टेटस आता है, you can check it from here कि सप्लायर ने 30 सितंबर तक भरी, किसने नहीं भरी। And in this PPT I have considered the various scenarios of 37A rule कि सामने वाला किस कैटेगरी में है, आप कहां भर रहे हैं। सो नॉट ओनली फॉर GSTR9, और उसका GSTR9 में भी ट्रीटमेंट बताया, but the base was this only, reversal done up to 30th November will come in 20-23, done post November will go to the next year. Reclaim will always go to the next year in the which year it is being reclaimed. So, but सामने वाला किस में है, क्वार्टरली में है, आप क्वार्टरली में है, उसके डिफरेंट सिनेरियोस 37A के मैंने दिए हैं इसमें, एंड इट आल्सो क्लैरिफाइज योर 37A रूल आल्सो. So with this I end up my deliberation and I open the house for discussion. But one more point जो मुझे पता है सबकी क्वेरी रहती है RCM, तो इससे पहले वो क्वेरी आपकी साइड से आए, लेट मी शेयर इट विद ऑल ऑफ यू. एक क्वेश्चन जो हमें जनरली आता है कि आज मैं RCM 22-23 का ढूंढती हूँ और मैं क्लाइंट को कहती हूँ पे करना है. सो द क्वेश्चन कम्स अबाउट RCM ITC. सर, पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स अंडर RCM and taking its ITC are two sides of a coin, are two sides of one coin. That is why what I want to highlight here, आप अगर अपना आउटपुट डिले कर रहे हैं, for that you will be supposed to pay the interest. But ITC लेना है या नहीं, I will suggest you, अगर आप पुराने साल का यानी 22-23 का ITC आज पे कर रहे हैं, so उसको 3B के थ्रू पे करिए and you are eligible for its ITC. Although there is a press release also dated 3rd July 2019, वो कहती है जिस साल में आरसीएम पे करोगे उस साल का आईटीसी माना जाएगा, उस साल का आरसीएम माना जाएगा। आपने आउटपुट डिले किया क्योंकि उसका टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई हो गया था, उसके लिए आपने इंटरेस्ट पे किया। आईटीसी के लिए लगता है सेक्शन 16। अब यूआरपी का केस लीजिए, जहां सामने वाला यूआरपी है, सामने वाला अगर यूआरपी है, आपने इनवॉइस काटा आज दिसंबर 23 में, आप पेमेंट कर रहे हैं आज दिसंबर 23 में, सो आपने सेक्शन 16 की कंडीशंस ही कब पूरी की हैं? दिसंबर 23 में। जब आप दिसंबर 23 में कर रहे हैं, सो उसके ऊपर 16/4 का टाइम पीरियड लगेगा नवंबर 24। सो my view is that especially for URP self invoicing cases, क्योंकि जहां यूआरपी नहीं होता, सामने वाले का जैसे एडवोकेट अगर रजिस्टर्ड है तो पे तो आरसीएम ही करना है, बट उसमें उसका इनवॉइस आता है, सो अ केस बिकम्स अ लिटिल डाइसी टू। बट इन केस ऑफ यूआरपी, बिकॉज इनवॉइस भी आज है, पेमेंट भी आज हुई है, मैंने सेक्शन 16 की कंडीशंस ही आज पूरी की है, सो इट विल बिकम एन इनपुट विच बिकेम एलिजिबल इन द ईयर 23-24 only, paid through not paid through DRC03, paid through the normal 3B, and take it in the return for the period 23-24. So this is my view on it. So rest, I open the session for the discussion, for the questions.
So since we have time left for around 15 minutes, I would request the members to kindly ask your questions. Yes, sir, please. You have the mic. Yeah, please switch on.
Yes.
No, man, the mic is not on. Only one.
Hello. Hello.
देखो तो माइक तो ऑन हो, चलो। हाँ अभी भी ठीक है, देखिए।
Yes, ma'am. I'm audible.
नहीं माइक भी नहीं है, और थोड़ा पास लाना पड़ेगा फिर।
Hello.
ये आना भी डर।
My doubt is regarding table 13 and 14. Sorry, 12 and 13. In 10 and
Table?
11, 12 and 13 regarding the
Sir,
ITC.
the voice is echoing a lot. I'm unable to understand.
Table 12 and 13.
Yeah. So in that figure, suppose I have missed a bill for delivery 22-23, and I have booked the bill in 23-24, and I have claimed it in 23-24.
नहीं वन से वो माइक का क्यों नहीं ऑन माइक नहीं, ये माइक में तो प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, ऑन माइक तो
একটা মাইক আর আছে তো ঘনশ্যাম, দাও আসছে তো।
अब देखिए थोड़ा वॉइस पास लगा।
हाँ मैं audible।
थोड़ा ऐसे करो,
ऊपर कीजिए, माइक ऊपर कीजिए। हाँ
बोलो थोड़ा जोर से बोलो।
Hello.
यस ऑडिबल।
Yes, ma'am. The doubt is, suppose I have missed the bill which is of 22-23, and I have
Sir,
booked
bill is
the
of
same
output or input?
input. Sorry, input.
Input bill.
Yes, ma'am. So I have booked the bill of 22-23 in 23-24 in my financials, and I have claimed it in 23-24.
Sorry, again the voice is not coming to me.
Actually the inward supply is of 22-23 and
Inward supplies of 22-23, but you have taken the input in 23-24 pre-November 23, right?
yeah,
And the effect of the same has been taken in 23-24.
Expenses also taken.
yeah, expenses also taken in 23-24.
So will that form
Financials
part-
also you are taking it in 23-24.
Yeah. Typical example of rent billed in March, I booked it in April.
So you want to say that the section 16 conditions were not fulfilled, the goods were received in the next year. It was appearing in 2A, it was appearing in 2B of, let's suppose, I just draft a issue. Let's suppose that a particular bill was coming in the month of March, online also, in 2A, 2B also. But you booked in the financials of 23-24 and taken the credit in 23-24 because the section 16 conditions were fulfilled in 23-24.
Yes, ma'am. So will that form part of part 5, table 9-5?
Will that form? According to me, answer is no. Because you have taken it in the GST returns in 3B in the period 23-24, it will not go to part 5. It will be forming part of 23-24 data. For that, you need to prepare a reconciliation of GSTR 2B that these bills have been carried forward.
Okay, ma'am, but here then the doubt comes that you said that is the credit note which is issued after 31st March. Issued after 31st March, but up to 30th November 23. And the same has been booked in 23-24 will form part of 9-5.
Sir, where you have shown that credit notes in GSTR 3B?
In 23-24.
Sir, may I please request you to let me see the other side also, because it's only showing the other participants' view is not visible to me.
Is this okay, ma'am?
No, I can still not, because it was a little easier for me to connect. Anyhow, can you please, sir, the credit note which is dated post March of the period, let's suppose April 23. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The credit note which is dated, let's suppose April 23, taken in the GSTR 3B of 23, will be taken in the GSTR 9 of 24.
Okay, it will be taken in the next year. Depends upon the date of the credit note.
Depends upon the date of?
Credit note.
Yes, it depends upon the date of the credit note and the way this you are dealing it with it in your GSTR 3.
So basically, I just summed it because still I'm not clear for you.
Yeah.
So if a credit note dated May 23 has been shown in the return of May 23, but it
yes,
to
it will not come to part 5 of 22-23.
Okay, so only which was booked in 2023, reflected in 2024 will be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think essentially, sir, what's your main doubt is regarding section 37, that, if any credit note is issued within that due date,
Sir,
it
the
has to be
voice
for
is
the
not
past.
clearly audible. It's little echo. There is echo in the voice.
Yeah, it is sorted now. The question is sorted. Whatever you said, that is right.
रिवर्सल का फिर क्या करना होगा वो भी तो
कौन सा?
जैसे रिवर्सल
ये आ जाइए
2A में मैंने 2A में
1 second.
2A में वो कह रहे रिवर्सल लेता नहीं है, वो तो नेट वो ग्रॉस अमाउंट ही ले लेते हैं, रिवर्सल को डिडक्ट नहीं करते, तो हमें 2A में उसको कैसे करना है, रिवर्सल को मैं कैसे दिखाऊं? एक ही क्वेश्चन।
रिवर्सल मतलब कौन सा बोली?
9 में से आता है, बहुत सारा रिवर्सल।
हाँ।
सर वो जो ग्रॉस हम लोग दिखाते हैं, रिवर्सल अलग दिखाते हैं, रिवर्सल को नेट करके नहीं लेता है 2A में, राइट, वो डायरेक्ट ले लेते हैं ग्रॉस, लेकिन वो तो अमाउंट फिर ऑब्वियसली इज मोर देन द 2A। उसको फिर रिवर्सल
sir, I got her question. Yes. She wanted to say, if I'm correct, so please mention. She said 6B is coming with the gross figure. Reversal is going in table 7. While comparing in table 8, it is taking the gross figure. As a result, 8D is coming up with a higher amount. Am I right? Yes. So, देखिए, there are two ways, madam, because 3B में अगर रिवर्सल होगा और नीचे के कॉलम्स आप देखें, एक वे आउट तो ये है कि आप 6B में नेट फिगर उठाएंगे। अगर आप 6B में नेट फिगर उठाते हैं, so you will have the difference in column 6J, which the officer will ask you. उस केस में टेबल 8 में लैप्स नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि टेबल 8 में फिर वो 6B की फिगर उठाएगा, कंपेयर करेगा और आपका रिवर्सल का इंपैक्ट कंसिडर हो जाएगा। Are you getting it? But in this situation, 6J column में
difference के 8A का difference.
Sorry?
Which option is better? 6J में difference और 8A में difference? 8D में.
8D में difference. What I will suggest you, अगर आपकी 9C जा रही है और टेबल 8 को आप PDF फॉर्म में लगाइए, आप ग्रॉस फिगर दिखाइए 6B में, रिवर्सल्स दिखाइए टेबल नंबर 7 में, और आप चाहें तो टेबल नंबर 8 का करेक्ट बनाकर कि इसमें रिवर्सल कंसिडर नहीं हुआ है, रिवर्सल डाल के मेरी नेट फिगर ये बनती है, द डिफरेंस इज दिस, 8 9C में 7 लगा दीजिए।
Yeah, I think that.
You are saying कि reconciliation बना के उसको 9C में आया.
हाँ, उस केस में देखिए आपका 6J में डिफरेंस भी नहीं आएगा और आपका टेबल 8 जो है वो करेक्ट होके 9C में साथ चला गया. So both ways you are safe.
Okay.
Right?
And if
But
you are not filing 9C,
then देखिए फिर आपका 6J में डिफरेंस आएगा. अगर आप वहां पे मतलब नेट दिखा देते हैं तो 6J में डिफरेंस आएगा. अदरवाइज आपका टेबल 8D में अगर आप नहीं दिखाते तो आपका टेबल 8D में फर्क आएगा. सो अगर आप 9C फाइल नहीं कर रहे हैं तो आप ये देखो नोटिस दोनों केसेस में आएगा.
That is a sum and substance. That is a sum and substance.
फर्स्ट इशू इज दिस. अगर 9C नहीं है या है 9C अगर है तो आपका इशू सब क्लियर हो जाएगा. बट एक चीज और बताऊं, जब मैंने टेबल 7 को स्टडी किया ना मैम, उसमें लिखा था 37 का रिवर्सल, 42-43 का रिवर्सल, 17-5 का रिवर्सल. मैडम ये सारे वो रिवर्सल्स हैं जो ऑनलाइन नहीं आते. लास्ट में कॉलम एनी अदर रिवर्सल दिया हुआ है. सो बेसिकली दिस इज अ ड्राफ्टिंग एरर इन द फॉर्म इटसेल्फ. इनको जब वहां पे उठाना चाहिए. सर मैम वो क्यों आ रहा है डिफरेंस? वो कह रहे हैं कि ये रिवर्सल्स ऑनलाइन नहीं आते हैं. सो आपका ग्रॉस 8 से मैच होना चाहिए. सो अगर आपका 9C नहीं जा रहा है सो आप काम कर सकते हैं, आप जो 6B की फिगर है वो नेट ले लीजिए. 6J में डिफरेंस आएगा. आपके जब असेसमेंट लगेगी आप ऑफिसर को एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए कि ये रिवर्सल का डिफरेंस आ रहा है, बट उससे आपका कॉलम 8 सब्सटेंशिएट हो जाएगा. ये मैं क्यों बता रही हूँ, क्योंकि जब आज हम असेसमेंट्स और ऑडिट्स करा रहे हैं ना, तो ऑफिसर्स टेबल 8 को ऐसे चेक करते हैं जैसे अगर उसमें फर्क आ गया तो यू आर कल्प्रिट, और नोटिसेस भी बहुत फॉल कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर. सो दिस वे यू कैन सेव दैट थिंग. और जो ये व्यू है ये मैंने इससे निकाला है कि जितना टेबल 7 का रिवर्सल है वो रिवर्सल्स के पॉइंट्स है जो ऑनलाइन नहीं आते हैं. 37, 42, 17.5 वो क्रेडिट नोट वर्ड नहीं लिखता है. सो बेस्ड अपॉन दिस you can take 6B as net, let the difference come in 6J, and then you can substantiate it.
thank you.
So actually, continuing question to this, which is a common question now, is there was a phase in between August 22 to December 22 when we were told that credit note has to go to reversals.
Yes.
Uska kya reporting? That is also a common question asked, which is asked in various WhatsApp groups also.
Yes. सर एक्चुअली यू वांट टू से कि जो 3B थी, सर मैं अपना व्यू पॉइंट इस पे आई जस्ट वांट टू पुट फॉरवर्ड कि हम क्रेडिट नोट का जो भी हम वैसे तो जो 3B में रिवर्सल्स था इवन बिफोर द चेंज और आफ्टर द चेंज ऑफ 3B, जो क्रेडिट नोट्स थे उसका रिवर्सल हम नीचे सेपरेट ही शो कर रहे थे और ऊपर ग्रॉस फिगर ही दिखाते थे. राइट. सो इन द पास्ट इयर्स व्हाट आई हैव डन कि जो मेरे क्रेडिट, और अभी भी सर क्रेडिट नोट का रिवर्सल तो सेपरेट ही आता है और ऊपर जो टेबल 4 में ऑफ GST या 3B जो फिगर जाती है वो ग्रॉस ही जाती है. सो इट वाज ओनली दैट सर्टेन अदर रिवर्सल्स जो थे जो पहले हम डिफरेंट करके नहीं दिखाते थे, अब वो हमें मोर इलेबोरेटली GST या 3B में दिखाने थे. राइट. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू मी GST 9 इन दैट रिस्पेक्ट रिमेन्स सेम, क्योंकि GST 9 में ऑलरेडी कॉलम सेग्रीगेटेड ही थे 42, 43, 37, 38 एंड सो ऑन. और सर इसमें पर्टिकुलरली मैंने एक स्लाइड भी दी है कि 3B में जो डिफरेंसेस आए हैं उसका इम्पैक्ट कौन से कॉलम में जाना है. बट व्हाट आई वाज डूइंग, I was taking the gross figure in 6B and I was showing the reversal shown in 3B in the table number 7. Credit note reversals I was putting in any other column and I stick to the same even after the change in 3B format.
Okay, thank you.
अच्छा मैम एक बात और बोली कि जैसे क्या होता है ई-इनवॉइस जनरेट हुआ करते हैं तो वो क्या होता है ई-इनवॉइस जनरेट करने के बाद कैंसिल नहीं होता.
Yes, नहीं होता. कैंसिल होता है मैम. ई-इनवॉइस कैन बी कैंसिल्ड, इट कैन नॉट बी मॉडिफाइड.
और वो कैंसिल मैंने 48 आवर्स के अंदर वो कर मैंने वो 24 आवर्स के अंदर हो गया.
मैम यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ई-इनवॉइस और ई-वे बिल.
ई-इनवॉइस यदि जनरेट एक बार हो गया मैम, यदि वो पोर्टल में आ गया GSTR 1 में,
ओके
तो उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि वो मेरे क्लाइंट का ऐसा केस हुआ कि उसने GSTR 1 वो कर दिया, मैं आ गया, अब वो डिलीट कर रहा है, वो हट रहा नहीं है, कैंसिल हो रहा नहीं है, जब नेक्स्ट मंथ में GSTR 1 लगाने जा रहे हैं।
तो मैम आप एक क्रेडिट नोट उसका आप एक क्रेडिट नोट इशू कर दीजिए और ई क्रेडिट नोट कर दीजिए, दैट विल नलिफाई द इफेक्ट।
वही मैं आपको पूछने जा रही हूँ, यदि वो उसने क्या हुआ, वो चेकिंग जब हुई वो करंट में हुई, ठीक है, GSTR 1 होना चाहिए, वो क्रेडिट नोट होना चाहिए, हुआ मार्च का, मैम क्रेडिट नोट मार्च का हुआ, लगाया हमने 23-24 में। अब ये बताइए कि 9 में
मैम व्हाट इज द डेट ऑफ द क्रेडिट नोट?
क्रेडिट नोट अब 31 मार्च,
अगले साल ही आएगा।
31 मार्च 23।
हाँ
so it will go to 22-23 return।
हाँ वो ठीक है, वो नहीं, वो 20-23 में जाएगा, 9 में कहाँ जाएगा
मैम 9 में टेबल नंबर 4 में जाएगा, क्रेडिट नोट्स का सेपरेट ऑप्शन है कॉलम नंबर 4 के में।
वो क्रेडिट नोट में तो ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड जो है उसमें वो आया नहीं, क्योंकि वो
तो मैम
मैंने
आपको खुद
23
से फिगर डालनी है, इवन इफ इट इज नॉट कमिंग आउट ऑटो पॉपुलेटेड, यू हैव टू शो दैट फिगर
योरसेल्फ ना। हाँ
yes।
So we'll quickly go, ma'am, we'll go to the last question. We know you have pressing time. So the last question is from one of our member, Prashantoda. He's saying, if RCM is paid, but it is not added in input, so what can we do at this stage in RCM in terms of while filing the 9? Second question is regarding similar question, which is in, I've
Sir, I
filed a
think so RCM का I have already answered कि RCM आप जिस टाइम पे पे करेंगे, आप अगर आपने पे कर दिया है 3B के थ्रू पे किया है, और अगर आपने उसका इनपुट जो है जिस टाइम पे आप जिस साल में पे करते हैं उस टाइम में, और आफ्टर दैट इज अवेलेबल टू बी टेकन। सो अगर आप 22-23 का RCM आज भी पे कर रहे हैं, सो आप उसके लिए इनपुट के लिए एलिजिबल हैं।
No, but here the question is that he has paid the RCM last year, 22-23.
He has paid the RCM last year.
He has not availed the credit. And while filing the 9, can he add it to the input?
Sir, has he taken it in the 3B before 30th November?
No.
Sir, then he cannot take it through GSTR 9. हाँ, अब इसी का अगर उन्होंने RCM पे कर दिया था मार्च से पहले, इनपुट 3B में अप टू 30th November तक ले लिया होता, so then it would have gone to table number 30.
Okay.
Next year.
And the last question is, I have filed a TRAN 1. And
sir, may I please request you that I have to join another meeting? So whatever question kind.
Okay. So
the person can contact me on my number.
Yeah, so I'll just send the question and then maybe, because she has another meeting, she had told us. So we'll do that. So with this, I would request, I think after such a wonderful session, first of all, we'll have a round of applause from all the members. And we're sounding applause. And then we'll quickly go to our Secretary, Mahendra Agarwalji, for a well-deserved vote of thanks.
Thank you,
Sir,
everyone.
thank you so much for such a beautiful gesture, but my sincere apology that I have to leave this session as I have to join the other session, and they are announcing for it.
Thank you. We will take session 2.
We will take the session part 2 very soon. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
चलो भाई क्लोज कर,
हटा देना, बंद कर दो।
मेरा तो क्लाइंट आके बैठा फोन कर रहा है।
अच्छा सेशन था, बहुत बढ़िया सेशन।
और इसको रिकॉर्डिंग तो
रिकॉर्डिंग हो जाएगा,
क्लाउड पे हो रहा है, ये बोले क्लाउड